Growing up, I had dreams and aspirations, but always felt like the kid that didn't fit in. For the most part, I wasn't a bad kid, but when I made the transition into adulthood, I turned to the streets for guidance. This led to getting locked up in juvenile hall, doing time in CYA, and eventually a 120-month sentence in federal prison. I had a lot of time to think and reflect during my federal sentence, so I share with you what I learned, hoping I can positively influence someone else's life with Prison Talk.
916, and you tuned in to another Prison Talk with Fresh Out, but this one's a little bit different. A viewer sent me a couple videos that I think you guys will find interesting, right? They're older videos, and I think they've been scrubbed from the internet because they want to keep us divided and make this a black-white thing, a racial thing. You see all the different social media posts and the racial, connotations with a lot of the commentary and stuff like that, but I want you to watch this video. Then I have another one for you, and you tell me what you think after you watch this video. Are we really dealing with a racial America, or are they really trying to make it?
A friend who has, he is deceptive in that his social style is of such. One can miss his seriousness, and his commitment for their success is beyond argument. When we opened this Wall Street project and we talked about it, he gave us space at 40 Wall Street, which was to make a statement about our having a presence there. Beyond that, in terms of reaching out and being inclusive, he's done that too. And created for many people a comfort zone. When I ran for the presidency in 84 and 88.
Jesse.
And many others thought it was either laughable or something to avoid. He came to our business meeting here in New York because he has this sense of the curious and a will to risk to make things better. And so aside from all of his style and his pizzazz, he's a serious person who's an effective builder of building with a builder of people. Last year he was a part of our workshop, of our panel workshop on what are the challenges and opportunities. And so this, a year later, Donald Trump, for a few minutes, challenges and opportunities to embrace the underserved communities. Donald Trump.
All the credits we give money to HBCUs.
Well, it is an honor to be here, and I was with Jesse last year, and we had a lot of fun, and it was a little different. Jesse started off by saying most of the wealth in this country is in the hands of a few. And I thought to myself, is that a bad thing? What's wrong with that, Jesse? But he did have an expression last year, and I was just telling Roger, he had an expression last year, the wall on wall must fall. And you haven't used it today, and I'm very disappointed in this, Jesse, because I thought it was a great expression. And I heard the expression about 14 times, and then he came to me at the end of the session, and he said, listen, I want some office space in your building on Wall Street, because the wall on wall will fall. And I said, it's okay, Jesse, I'll make a good deal with you. I'll get you some space. You'll pay about $40 a foot. And he said, no, I don't want to pay 40. I said, how about 30? No. It was the cheapest deal I ever made in the history of 40 Wall Street. Is that right? He got it for nothing. He was a very tough negotiator. We know that, right? Nah, he's a terrific guy. We love him, and I'm here for him. And the snow came, and I said, gee, nobody's going to show up, and look at this place, it's packed. Well, I'll just say a few words. I mean, Wall Street and New York City and this whole region is doing unbelievably well. I'm building a job on the West Side, which is the largest job ever approved by the New York City Planning Commission. You see it going up along the West Side Highway. It's almost 10 million square feet. It's 18 buildings, and it's really going to be something. I will tell you, a large percentage of the people, and especially in construction, that are building these great jobs are black and minorities, and I'm very proud of it. We have close to 25%, and I think the number's going up, and they do a great job. There are no better builders than we have in New York, and a big percentage of that is black and minority folks. So I just want to thank everybody in the room for being here. I look forward to some questions, and then I don't know how we're ever going to leave this building today, because if you look outside, it is terrible, but we'll figure a way. There's always a way. And thank you, Jesse, and congratulations.
I want to say that's in the 80s, and you know, a lot of people, this is before they were born, who were in social media now. They didn't have none of the social media back then. That was just straight news. But isn't that interesting that the way he made that introduction, you would have thought he was introducing a black man, and then he introduces Donald J. Trump? Pretty interesting. I'm just saying. You know, this is before social media and all this stuff, before he was running for president, when he was just a businessman. And then I received this video, and this is on the Oprah show, and before he even got into politics, he was talking about American trade, a debtor nation, and what needed to change in order to bring America back.
What would you do differently, Donald?
I'd make our allies, forgetting about the enemies you can't talk to so easily, I'd make our allies pay their fair share. We're a debtor nation. Something's going to happen over the next number of years with this country, because you can't keep going on losing $200 billion, and yet we let Japan come in and dump everything right into our markets and everything. It's not free trade. If you ever go to Japan right now and try to sell something, forget about it, Oprah. Just forget about it. It's almost impossible. They don't have laws against it. They just make it impossible. They come over here, they sell their cars, their VCRs, they knock the hell out of our companies. And hey, I have tremendous respect for the Japanese people. I mean, you can respect somebody that's beating the hell out of you, but they are beating the hell out of this country. Kuwait, they live like kings. The poorest person in Kuwait, they live like kings. And yet they're not paying. We make it possible for them to sell their oil. Why aren't they paying us 25% of what they're making? It's a joke.
This sounds like political presidential talk to me, and I know people have talked to you about whether or not you want to run. Would you ever?
Probably not, but I do get tired of seeing the country ripped off.
Why would you not?
I just don't think I really have the inclination to do it. I love what I'm doing. I really like it.
Also, it doesn't pay as well.
No, it doesn't. But, you know, I just probably wouldn't do it, Oprah. I probably wouldn't, but I do get tired of seeing what's happening with this country. And if it got so bad, I would never want to rule it out totally, because I really am tired of seeing what's happening with this country, how we're really making other people live like kings, and we're not.
What do you think of this year's presidential race, the way it's shaping up?
Well, it's going to be very interesting. I think that probably George Bush has an advantage in terms of the election. I think that probably people would say that he's got like that little edge in terms of the incumbency, et cetera, et cetera. But I think Jesse Jackson's done himself very proud. I think Michael Dukakis has done one hell of a job. And George Bush has done a hell of a job. You know, they all went in there sort of as semi-underdogs, including George Bush, and they've all come out. I think people that are around all three of those candidates can be very proud of the jobs they've done.
You've said, though, that if you did run for president, you believe you'd win.
Well, I don't know. I think I'd win. I tell you what, I wouldn't go in to lose. I've never gone in to lose in my life. And if I did decide to do it, I think I'd be inclined, I would say that I would have a hell of a chance of winning, because I think people, I don't know how your audience feels, but I think people are tired of seeing the United States ripped off. And I can't promise you everything, but I can tell you one thing, this country would make one hell of a lot of money from those people that for 25 years have taken advantage of.
Both of those videos, what does that bring to mind? What type of thoughts do you guys, picture after watching those videos? Because they want everybody to be judging everybody on the color of your skin, on your ethnicity. But when we, get down to it and we talk about policy, and somebody who has strong leadership qualities, somebody who's gonna really stand up to other world leaders at a level that requires a backbone, that requires somebody who's not going to be bullied, somebody who's going to make the choices that's going to help the working class American, someone who cares about the values of a nation, someone who's going to make choices that aren't going to favor other countries over American citizens. I'm not saying you or I have to agree or with, everything a person does, because a lot of people would look at me and be like, oh, well, you did this, you did that, and you were ex-criminal, ex-adult star, and this. I got a lot of shit in my closet that you guys have already heard about, I've aired out, but I'm just saying overall, as far as values, I feel that I would bring a lot of good things to the table if I was a person in a position able to help other people, just because I've lived a life, so I'm able to make choices that I feel are based on life experiences. And when listening to these interviews, it kind of, blows me away when I think about how we're living now, some 40 years later, and people are making all these judgment calls. We've turned, pretty much everything into a skin color test, and if you're black, you can't support a white man. If you're white, you gotta be racist because you're maybe your great grandfather was a racist, and it's just all this bullshit. People here talking about you can't do what somebody. Man, that somebody stops you from, doing what you want to do with your phone? I mean, is it, are you, you're talking about, is it we walking around with Jim Crow type shit? It's crazy, man. And then when you do have situations, there's no accountability, so people want to point the finger and blame. But when you watch this person, this individual, Donald Trump, is being praised pretty much by the people that are introducing him, and they're black people. They're not saying this white man. They're just saying, hey man, Oprah questioned him and he answered, and it wasn't anything aggressive. It wasn't like, hey, people that follow you, they're racist. We don't, it wasn't just because he wasn't running for politics. Then you have Jesse Jackson, giving him all type of kudos. He was supporting their cause, which was a black cause. So I just ask you, man, as a fellow American, somebody who cares about the country, somebody who looks beyond skin color, beyond race. And I tell you right now, people say race, there's race in every country. You go to any country, you go there, take your black butt to somewhere in Africa, wherever you want to go, there's always somebody that's gonna not like you. Just get over it. Just get over it, man. You know what I mean? Everywhere you go, there's always going to be somebody. And I don't really care about that person. I mean, I'm not looking for them. I'm not, seeking that person out to try to confront them. I'm just going to live my life just as you should live your life, So I just want to share this with you. Tell me what you think. And I would love to hear your opinion on why you think they're playing such a racial political game, and how do you feel about leadership in this country right now? Do you think that these people really give a damn? Do you think that they really give a damn? They laugh at us, They literally, are saying, if you're black, we legalize weed. We know you black guys, you smoke a lot of weed. Woo! You guys are some weed smoking, some getting high ass, jive turkeys. We promise y'all $1 million. Y'all all want $1 million, right? Go buy a gold chain. Y'all all out of shape, bad health, diabetes. We're gonna help y'all get your health right. Y'all know y'all ain't doing the right thing. You gotta support, black woman. Come on, man. You trying to bring us right back to the plantation? You think we're that ignorant? Yeah, you do. You laugh at us because you're going to replace all of us with illegal immigrants. That's what you want to do. You're just buying time. They just buying time, man. Reparations, they've been talking about that shit for 50, 60, 70 years. Ain't nothing happened. Big Herc 916.
Lockdown's over. Get your yard time in.
With Fresh Out Ministries, we're starting a new program that we call Pay It Forward, where we're doing a takeover of a mom and pop cafe or restaurant to help feed those who are in need. And if you feel in your heart to donate, we're going to use that money to pay it forward to do another takeover of another restaurant, helping build community unity, because we know it's hard times right now. You got a lot of people that talk the talk, they don't walk the walk. A lot of churches out there with a lot of money, but what are they doing to give back to the community? Well, we're giving back. And if you're in Southern California, Orange County, Los Angeles area, you have a food truck or a restaurant, hit us up, freshoutseries@gmail.com or freshoutseries.com. And if you would like to make a donation for this program, you can go to our link tree and our IG at Fresh Out Series.